But this video is to let the world know that I'm done with the marriage. I don't have a lot to prove that I'm done with him, but I'm done. I'm done. I'm living with my life, finally. I can't say a lot now, but you hear my story.
No be small matter. It has been from one sad news to another sad news. So our beautiful Nollywood actress Cha Eke has come out to narrate everything that happened between her and her husband, and also how she lost her mom. It is a very, very sad story that after listening to this story, you will feel like shedding tears. Let us listen to what she has to say in this her recent video. Don't forget to subscribe and also thumbs up this video.
The lion learns to talk. Every story, every narrative will glorify the hunter. Now, with that quote being said, I have a little story for you. Don't go nowhere. Last week, on the 19th of February 2025, at about 7 a.m. in the morning, I had just woken up from sleep. I was in the middle of my meditations when suddenly my younger brother, Ike, began calling my phone. And because it was too early in the day to make connections with the outside world, I deliberately ignored his call and continued with my affirmation, promising myself to call him back. But then, barely 30 minutes after I ignored his call, my youngest brother, Ahanna, began to call my phone too. And then a weird feeling started to envelop me because the timing was off. They rarely call me, and this type of coincidence was just not to be ordinary. And so I paused my meditation and picked Ahanna's call. And I said, Cha Eke, how are you? He said, sister, I'm not fine. I said, what happened? He said, sister, mommy is dead. In that moment, I felt cold chills on my body. I said, what? Anna, what are you saying? He said, mommy died this morning around 7, like a few minutes ago. I said, Anna, what are you saying? And then he said, it was in the middle of the night around 1 a.m. that suddenly mommy began to have a heart failure, and daddy was out of town. He was in Abuja for a meeting, and so they had a hard time getting her to the hospital, and before they could rally round and take her to the hospital, she was already in coma. And it wasn't long after their arrival that the doctors declared her dead, and that as Ahanna was speaking to me, mommy was already in the hospital, in the mortuary. I said, give me mortuary, like, I don't understand. It's happening too fast. Too much to process. First of all, heart failure, I said 1 a.m. Dead. Okay. Dead people have been prayed back to life. But mortuary, how did we get there so fast? He said, yeah, Justice is there already. Like, she's in the mortuary. I have heard that there are several stages to grief. The first one being anger. It was that day that I experienced it for real. I went full-on ballistic on Ahanna. I began to curse him out and shake him like, why did you do this to me? I took it personal. I felt victimized. I felt like, how could my mom die and you people did not call me the Ada? From the moment that she was struggling, it lingered. It was a couple hours. She didn't just die suddenly. Why didn't you call me? As if calling me, yes. Because at about that time that they said she was struggling with her heart, I was awake here in my house. Around that time, I was awake and I was praying, speaking in tongues for a daughter of mine who was in surgery room right about that time. How was I to know that while I was praying for the life of someone else, my mother was losing her own life? And so it was 1 hour of intense anger and rage with Ahanna that had me wailing on the floor. And after I was done cursing him out, I cut the call. My other brother, the one that was calling before Ahanna, he called me and I maintained the rage with him. I told him, you did this to me. And after I cut them off the phone, I sat on the floor and I began to think about my life. Think about how, whoa, yet again, another harsh reality of life just hit me. And I was forced to take my own medication, those advices that I give out to people freely as a mental health advocate. Life came reminding me, yeah, it is what it is. Feel the feelings, but don't become the emotions. You can choose to respond to her death, or you can.
Oh my goodness. This is a very, very sad story. A very, very sad one. Yes, so because even from the way she's talking herself, you can see that she is truly in pains. You can see the pains in her heart, in her face, and even in her eyes. Yes, she's truly in pain, and I'm so sorry. Cha Eke, please accept my sympathy, because it is not easy for someone to lose her loved one, for somebody to lose her mother just like that. They didn't even inform her to tell her when the woman was in critical conditions and all that. Maybe there's something she could have done now. Maybe God would have just have mercy and for her sake saved the woman. But everything happens for a reason. God knows best, because we all just came to this world to fulfill a purpose, and after we are done fulfilling that purpose, we all are still going to go one day. Nobody is going to stay here forever. That is it. So but we just pray that we'll stay long, so that we don't have to die early and leave our loved ones hearts broken. We stay long, we'll get old, so that when we go, it will be a celebration of life and not a painful exit. Come. So rest in peace to Cha Eke's mom. It is very sad. It is very hard too on her, because this one that she's out explaining herself like this. If you might think that everything is okay now, that she's no longer thinking about it, but I'm telling you that this thing now, she will think about it till the rest of her life. This is something that somebody cannot forget. It is not possible for somebody to forget his or her loved one that just passed away, whether the person is old or the person is young. As far as you are very close to that person, you've shared memories with the person, you will not forget that person in your entire life. It's going to be very, 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 very hard, very, very difficult for you to let go of the memories you had with the person. So rest in peace to her. May God grant her eternal rest.